Hey YouTube, Gunham here, and well, welcome back to something I thought I would never talk about. Today isn't really about the game. Today's more about what I'm here to discuss. Now, I first off, a little warning. You should expect foul language throughout. Alright? Just getting that out of the way right now. Expect foul language throughout. Oh, whoops. I think that's one. Yeah. So expect foul language throughout. And what I'm gonna actually talk about today is a little something called the pay gap. Yeah, I know. I'm talking about the pay gap. Just listen, alright? Right. So, this is what happened. A coworker at the work I'm at, because we have people who work for the same company but don't work at the same building. At the same building is a female coworker who thinks that women make less than men. I asked her a question to which she was dumbfounded. She was unable to come up with an answer. And I have this question to everyone who says there's a wage gap. Actually, technically it's a set of questions. Number one, are businesses in business to make money? And yes, they make their customers happy, but are they there to make money? Yes or no? The answer is yes. She said that after thinking about it for 2 seconds, if even. Number two, is a way of making money, saving money? She said yes. A penny saved is a penny earned. I have had somebody say no, to which someone else immediately replied, "You're an idiot," which that was funny, but yes, a way of making money is saving money. So, businesses are in business to make money. One way of making money is to save money. So, I asked how many male employees there were at the place and how many females. Basically, it was about 10 men and 1 woman was the ratio. Not 9 and 1 as in total of 10. No. 10 to 1, which actually works a lot better for math. It's about a 10 to 1, so there's 10 men and then there's 1 woman, roughly. And I said, okay, so the average, let's say, what, $15 an hour? Okay. So if there's $15 an hour for the average man, let's assume that the average woman gets $14 an hour, if your theory is correct. 15 to 14. So let's now increase it from 10 people and 1 person to a couple of 120. Couple hundred men, 20 women. Okay? Do you have any idea what would happen if they were to take those couple of hundred men and replace them with women? 24 hours a day, $1 per hour per person, 24 hours a day, 200 people. Now, not all people work 24 hours, obviously, but it adds up very quickly. And so basically the math is, so it comes to about, because of overtime included, it comes to around $2,000 a day. If there were women instead of men at this one building. $2,000 a day. Now, let's only assume 28 days a month for the times when we don't have overtime instead of 30, but there's a lot of overtime. So 28 days a month. Do you know how much money that adds up to? Hang on. Little jump cut there because of someone at the door, sorry. But yes, do you know how much $2,000 a day adds up to in a 28-day month, because, you know, of the days we don't work overtime, which isn't that often? Well, per se. It comes to about $56,000 a month. Okay? $56,000 a month. Do you know how much that comes up to in a year? Just shy of $700,000. Just shy of $700,000. That's not a small amount of money. It's not a ton of money, but it's not small. So, just shy of $700,000. But that's if there's 200 men and 20 women. Now let's take a look at the rest. About 1,000 men and about 100 women. So now we have to take this just shy of 700,000 multiplied by 5. And then subtract out that little extra I threw in. It comes to just a little over $3 million a year. Company-wide. $3 million a year. Now, women enjoy saying that it's not 90 cents to the dollar, 94 cents, 95 cents to the dollar. It's what, 70 cents? Some say 60. Let's assume 70. So for that $15 an hour man, you have about an 11 something an hour woman. 11.50, 12. So that $3 million a year turns into around $10 million. $10 million in savings a year, which means the company, this not that big company, would make, by saving, $10 million a year. So my question to her then, after I explained all of this, and she agreed, yes, my math was simple, but if it's $10 million a year to replace all of the men with women because women get paid less than men, then why the hell hasn't the company done this? Why in the hell are the women outnumbered 10-1 by the men? If the company would save $10 million a year, why the hell aren't they? That's a lot of money. Why is there a man employed anywhere? Let's go off of this little company now to something a bit bigger. Walmart. Walmart has a lot of employees. Walmart doesn't pay their employees quite as much, but let us assume $10 an hour for a man and $7 an hour for a woman, okay? Multiply that by 1 million employees. That is a lot of money. Now, Walmart does have a lot of male employees and a lot of female employees, but if you take $3 an hour per person, multiply by, say, 500,000 people, then per hour, just per hour, they would save $1.5 million per hour. Now, multiply by 8 because of a 8-hour workday. You have $12 million. $12 million in one day. Now, Walmart likes to work their employees a lot. And I mean a lot. I used to work at a Walmart. They work on the weekends. They work on the holidays without holiday pay. Would you like to know if there's a 1-to-1 ratio of men to women at Walmart, which I don't know what the actual ratio is, but if there is a 1-to-1 ratio of men to women, if women only got $7 for the $10 of a man per hour, would you like to know how much savings Walmart would make in 1 year if they replaced all their men with women? Over $3 billion. Don't you dare tell me that's not a lot of money. Even to Walmart, that's a lot of money. $3 billion in 1 year. So how in the hell would a man be employed anywhere if women made less than men? And thus, it would be a way for companies to save money. Companies are there to make money. One way of making money is saving money. So, if they can save $3 billion a year for Walmart alone, $10 million for the company I work at. I don't own the company, definitely not, but the company I work at, $10 million a year, $3 billion for Walmart. How much for Target? How much for Myers? How much for Sears? How much for JCPenney? How much for Martin's, Kohl's, Kroger's, Goodwill? Goodwill has volunteers and paid employees. Do you have any idea how much money would be saved per year if all men were fired and women took over? Just women? We are talking, just in the United States, hundreds of billions of dollars. I'm not sure, but it could be over $1 trillion. What would you do if you had $1 trillion? That's a lot of money for the country. Just take 17 years to pay off the national debt, and actually, I think the national debt's higher than 17, but you'd pay off a chunk of the national debt per year with that. It's a lot of money. $3 billion for Walmart. That's a ton of money. How can you say that there is a wage gap? If businesses are in the business for making money, and yes, they are. If you say no, you're an idiot. Businesses know that one way of making money is to save money. And if you say no to that, you're definitely an idiot. You should know this from kindergarten. So, if saving money by firing all the males and only hiring females, how in the hell is there a single man employed anywhere? Now, yes, the company we're at has a ton of men compared to women because it's a factory. It's very, very dirty. It's backbreaking work. It's difficult. A lot of women don't want to get dirty. A lot don't want to break their backs. It's smelly. There's chemicals in the air. It's hot. It's the middle of winter. It's like 90 degrees inside. And it gets hotter in the summer. Women don't want to do certain jobs. Certain jobs that are risky and pay money. Do you know that old show on the Discovery Channel, The Deadliest Catch? These guys spend, a few weeks and wind up walking off the decks of those ships with tens of thousands of dollars. I would love to make $30,000 in a month. If I did that all year round, I'd be making $400,000 a year. My father is an engineer. He's been an engineer for a long time. He's very good at it, and he's getting a lot of money for it. He doesn't make anywhere near that amount of money. $400,000 a year? Yes, I would love that kind of money. But the thing is, out of all those ships, count the women and count the men. There are very few women. And there's a ton of men. Why? Dirty, smelly, dangerous. It's not called The Deadliest Catch for nothing. Women don't do certain jobs because they're dangerous, dirty, backbreaking, things like that. They don't want to do those kinds of jobs. But those jobs tend to pay more. Do you know how much a guy who cleans the porta potties make? About $50,000 a year. A guy that picks up the trash, it's about the same. There's some other job that seems pretty low, but the guy makes like 70 grand a year starting. I can't remember what it was, but it seems it's a job that a lot of people enjoy to down. This is actually slightly a message to all those people that go to college to get massive college debt and then don't get a job in their career. Guess what? There are people that haven't finished high school that are making 70 grand a year within 3 years of starting their job. It's on the job training and they're making 70 grand a year. So there's that. But it's the men and the women who make this. This is how pay is set. The number of years you've worked, the efficiency you have, your attitude, things like that. If you have a good attitude, they're more inclined to keep you if the going gets tough. If you work hard, you make 1,000 parts an hour, they make 1,000 parts an hour. Okay, you get paid the same. You've both been there 5 years. You get paid the same. If you make less, or if they make less, the one who makes less gets paid less. Duh. Except for I say duh, but there's a lot of people that obviously don't know that. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing how people don't know, how someone at my work doesn't know this. How can a business not want to save millions of dollars a year for us not that big of a business? 1,000 employees is a bit. Not that big of a business, though, compared to Walmart. But Walmart would save billions. How in the hell would they not want to do that? If they could fire all their men and just hire women and thus save billions a year, why is a single man employed anywhere? Except for the jobs where women don't want to work. Oh, wait. Men are employed where women don't want to work. But women are also employed at locations all over the place that pay quite well. There's a woman that started about the same time as me. She's a little better than me. She gets paid $2 an hour more than me. $2 an hour doesn't seem like much, but guess what? It's $2 an hour. That adds up very quickly. Plus, she gets offered overtime more than I do. But we started at the same time. She's just better than me. I don't care the fact that she's better than me. I'm trying to improve myself, but I don't care that she's getting paid more because she is better than me. Okay, I do care that she is slightly better than me, but only because I'm trying to improve myself to meet her capacity. But I don't care that she's getting paid more. She should get paid more because she's better than I am at that job. If she weren't as good as I am and she was paying more, that is being sexist against men. The pay gap doesn't exist. I had to use the example of having, the savings companies would make if all they did was hire women. If all they did was hire women, they would save millions upon millions of dollars a year. Think of McDonald's. Think of Starbucks. Do you have any idea how much money they would save? It's a ton of money. The pay gap doesn't exist. Moreover, it doesn't exist more in a different way now. The average man going into a job, well, the way the pay gap is supposed to be is they take a look at the total amount of pay that women get and the total amount of pay men get and say, look, women aren't getting paid as much overall, even though men, are working in harder jobs or more dangerous jobs, yada, yada, yada. But guess what? Nowadays, it's the opposite. A lot of men aren't working at all, and women are getting higher paying jobs. Thus, nowadays, going off of how feminists and others and my coworker enjoyed claiming there was a pay gap, saying, take a look at all that they're making, every single man who's working, every single woman that's working, but they went off of just total number, the single number, by the way. If it's like $100 million and $70 million, which is not, it's way more obvious, but just for an example, if men total make $100 million a year and women made $70 million, well, the men are working in harder paying jobs and a lot of women aren't working because a lot of women choose to stay at home for one reason or another. Nowadays, the opposite is true. A lot of men are staying home and a lot of women now have higher paying jobs, and thus it's women that are getting more money than men. I'm not kidding. Thus, the pay gap, technically speaking, is going the other way. Hey, women, how about men get paid more per hour? You keep demanding more per hour to balance it. Well, guess what? Seeing as how you are making more than men on average now, how about you pay us more? It's actually going the other way now. That doesn't make sense, does it? It doesn't make sense that it's going the other way. Why are men not working? I don't know. But the thing is, it's not. It's not going the way that feminists wanted it to be. And there isn't a pay gap. The pay gap is nothing more than people not doing their math and thinking, you know what, if they could save money, they would. It's just people that don't want to work or people that work in less paying jobs. I should add, however, it's men that are starting, younger men. Going off of age group, I should have added that, I'm sorry. But going off of age group, nowadays, it is men that are getting paid less. In the new generation, the millennials, men are getting paid less than women because men aren't working as much. I apologize, I should have said that at the beginning of that, but the fact is still there that in this new generation, women on average are making more than men. But the reason is a lot of the men aren't working. And you don't need a college degree to get a lot of money. It would help, but it's not going to guarantee you a lot of money. It definitely would help. I don't have a college degree, and I'm making more than a lot of people that have finished college with a master's. There's something. And I still don't make very much. Why? Because they can't find a job in their career, and they go to Starbucks, for example, getting paid $7.50, $8, $9 an hour. I make more than that, but not by much. If they get a job in their career, yes, they'll get a lot more money. And with that, you have a lot of men that just aren't finishing college. So men are less susceptible. Men are less likely to finish college. The new generation is now having the men getting less money than the women. It's ridiculous. I can't believe I had to talk about this, but it's hit so close to home. Just do the math. Look at the business you work at. Count the men, count the women, and say, right, if it's 70 cents to the dollar, or 75 cents, or 80 cents, or 90 cents to the dollar, $1 for the man, 90 cents or whatever for the woman, now replace all the men with women. Assume 8 hours a day per man. Assume 6 days a week for overtime if your company does a lot of overtime. If they don't, 5 days a week. And then assume about 350 days a year because of holiday. Or not 350, excuse me, 300. No. You get the point. Just do some basic math and you'll come up with a very big number. And think, why in the hell is your company not saving that amount of money? Don't even go off of your entire company. Just look at the one building you're in. You're going to find it's probably a couple $1 million a year. If companies could save that amount of money, wouldn't they? Why hire a man for the heavy lifting jobs? No, they would just have a woman grab a forklift, or just grab 10 women. Why hire one man who has to be paid more if there's a wage gap, and they just have women do it and then pay them less? The wage gap doesn't exist. It's a concoction. I never wanted to talk about it, but thanks to it hitting so close to home, I had no choice. I'll catch you later. I have a headache.